Ice hockey is an exciting sport with a rich history of memorable games and passionate fans. However, the game is also known for its unique and often confusing set of rules. In this video, we will take a closer look at 4 of the more absurd rules of the NHL. If you don't want to miss any breaking news from the Canucks, subscribe to the channel now because we are always on top of the latest news from the Vancouver Canucks, and here you will stay updated on everything. Rule number 1, the Rats of Florida. In March of 1996, during the Florida Panthers' first playoff run in franchise history, Scott Melby found a rat in the dressing room and took it out with a stick. He then went on to score 2 goals with the same stick, becoming a legend in Panthers history. This event led to the tradition of Panthers fans throwing fake rats on the ice after a goal. However, during a game against the New Jersey Devils in 2016, the fans took it too far and caused a massive delay. The Devils were gifted for minutes of power play due to the Panthers fans misbehaving, highlighting the absurdity of Rule 63.4, which allows the officials to give penalties to the home team's fans. It seems crazy to think that fans in the stands can have an actual impact on the box score, but in this game, they did. This rule raises questions about the role of fans in sports and the extent to which their behavior should be controlled. Another question that arises from this game is, where are the fans getting these rats in the first place? Regardless of the source, their celebrations certainly made for an entertaining game. Rule number 2, stick tape colors. Rule 10.2 of the NHL states that in the case of a goalkeeper's stick, the knob shall be white tape or other protective materials approved by the league. Failure to comply with this provision of the rule will result in the goalkeeper's stick being deemed unfit for play. The goalkeeper's stick must be changed without the assessment of a minor penalty if a goalie uses a stick knob with a tape collar other than white. This rule exists because black tape on goalie stick knobs was commonly mistaken for the puck by players in net front battles, and referees were also confused and making incorrect calls. However, it's unclear why green or blue tape would matter if the league has a valid reason for banning black tape. This rule seems to be a relic from a bygone era and raises questions about the need for such obscure and confusing rules in today's game. Which NHL rule do you find the most absurd? Share your thoughts on these unusual NHL rules. Rule number 3, stick lengths. Rule 10.1 of the NHL states that no stick shall exceed 63 inches in length from the heel to the end of the shaft unless a player makes a special request to the NHL operations department. This rule makes sense if a player is actively using a stick that is too big, as it gives smaller players an unfair advantage. However, during a game between the St. Louis Blues and the Colorado Avalanche, Vladimir Tarasenko received a penalty for using a stick that was too long, even though it was not his stick. Rule number 4, the case of Tarasenko. In a heated game between the St. Louis Blues and the Colorado Avalanche, Vladimir Tarasenko found himself in the middle of a controversial penalty call. The game was tied up late in the third period, and as the teams headed into 3-on-3 overtime, a scrum broke out near the boards. During the scuffle, Blues defenseman Coton Perico dropped his stick, which ended up in the corner. Thinking quickly, Tarasenko handed over his stick to Perico and rushed to the corner to retrieve Perico's stick. However, when he picked it up, he realized that it was too long for him. As it turned out, Tarasenko was penalized for using a stick that was too long, even though it wasn't his. This penalty was called under Rule 10.1 of the NHL, which states that no stick can exceed 63 inches in length from the heel to the end of the shaft, unless the player makes a special request to the NHL operations department. At first glance, this rule may seem reasonable. After all, it aims to prevent players from using oversized sticks that could give them an unfair advantage on the ice. However, in this case, it seemed like an overreach. Like and subscribe for more exciting NHL content. Join our community of passionate ice hockey fans. Don't miss out on our future NHL videos. Subscribe now.